Great. So, hi, good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to be here, Rotaract, RYLA. What an exciting occasion. And this morning, Fiona and I have the opportunity to be with PDG Peter Dura as he goes into this exciting session, Intro to Rotary Works and Career Guidance. Briefly, to introduce myself, I'm Debbie Rookjan from the Rotary Club of San Fernando South, Trinidad. I'm currently the District Governor nominee designate for District 7030, as well as the Peace Chair. And this morning with me is Fiona Hines. Fiona, I'll just hand over to you briefly so you can introduce yourself as well.
Hi everyone, feeling the energy, and I am Fiona. I am the immediate past president, Rotary Club of Barbados in Barbados, and that's about it for my introduction.
Thanks, Fiona. So let me introduce to you all our exciting speaker for this morning, PDG Peter Dura. PDG Peter Dura is a Rotarian in Southwest Florida since 1992. Pete served as District Governor for the 2014-2015 term and has been honored as District 6960 Rotarian of the Decade 2011-2020. As governor, Pete initiated the District RYLA Rotary Youth Leadership Awards program. He led the way establishing record TRF, the Rotary Foundation, giving as well as a membership gain for District 6960, which was a first for several years. Pete and his wife Cindy are both active in their club, district, and at the zone level, and they have been married for almost 30 years and have 5 children. PDG Pete has been honored as Rotarian of the Year by his club, Fort Myers South, and Pete and Cindy have been honored as recipients of the Distinguished District Service Above Self Award. PDG Peter, it's an honor to have you with us, and I hand over the session to you.
Well, thank you so much. It's actually my honor to be with you. I'm really excited about this. I love RYLA as a program, and I love the efforts that Rotary makes to work with all of us as individuals to help us advance through our careers and our vocations as we navigate the changes which are part of our working lives. You know, when you think about it, vocational service is in many ways the original avenue of service in Rotary, because Paul Harris and his companions originally organized themselves in order to have some companionship, but also to work together as they advanced a new model and a new way of thinking about career and career development. And that remains at the heart and is a cornerstone of what Rotary International is. In these days, we are all the captains of our own ship as we go through our careers, and we all have the responsibility of making sure that we find a notch in the world, that we find a way that we can put our skills to use and make ourselves useful and support ourselves and our families, of course. And that means anymore making sure that we have the tools necessary to succeed in the marketplace and to advance ourselves from stage to stage in our careers. So we have a responsibility for self-advancement in ways that are somewhat different than certainly used to be, somewhat different than it was when I began my own business career now almost 40 years ago. And past International Director Stephanie Urchik really recognized that there was a need and an opportunity in our zones to make Rotary a more powerful partner in that activity for individual Rotarians. And so that's what I'm here to talk with you about today. She initiated a program that is called Rotary Works. And before I go any further, let me tell you how you can find information about that, because I certainly won't be able to tell you everything that's going on. But if you Google for Rotary.works, you will find online the information which relates to this program and all the opportunities that you have as individuals to become a part of it, both to take advantage of the resources that are there, but also to help us as we help others in Rotary and both Rotarians and Rotaractors to really realize their full potential. The Rotary Works initiative is something that which has been going on now for more than 2 years, and a lot has been done, but a lot of really exciting things remain to be done and are being worked on right now. When you go, you will see that there are several avenues of activity. First of all, as you might imagine, there's an opportunity for individuals to let others know that they are looking for work. So you can go online and let people know what your skills are and what kind of work you're interested in. And that has been very successful already, helping individuals as they move forward in their careers. As a companion to that, there is a job board where employers who understand the value of people who have made the commitment to be Rotarians and Rotaractors can go to seek people to fill those jobs. But probably more importantly, there are coaching resources and there are career development resources available that I think you'll find very exciting. From a coaching point of view, we have long had a program which links Rotarians with other Rotarians in a mentoring relationship so that more senior Rotarians can answer questions and provide guidance and advice as requested from younger Rotarians who are looking for that. And if you think broadly about what the value proposition is for Rotary, one of the most important things that people come to Rotary for is the opportunity to interact with older, more senior individuals who are somewhat more advanced in their career and have already maybe navigated some of the troubles. I know that in running my own business, there's been many a time where I've faced a problem. I didn't quite know what I wanted to do about it. But fortunately, there's always that next Rotary meeting coming up within a week, of course, and an opportunity to talk to other members of my club and others in our district who have already faced similar challenges before and understand what I'm talking about, what I'm concerned about, and who can offer advice. So that idea we believe can be and has been extended because with the miracle of Zoom, which we're, of course, utilizing this morning, and other social media platforms, we have the opportunity to provide that kind of mentoring and support without geographic limitations, so that people can get the kind of advice they're looking for really from across our whole zone. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can go on, you can offer yourself as a mentor, or you can offer and seek, let us know that you are seeking the creation of a mentorship relationship. One really exciting thing which is happening right now is Director Stephanie has asked me to lead an initiative to extend the existing Rotarian to Rotarian program so that we would have a Rotarian and Rotaract program, which we're discussing as a co-mentorship program. In other words, we recognize that Rotarians can have a lot to offer to Rotaractors, but it's absolutely the case that Rotaractors have a lot to offer to Rotarians. You take a look at me, you can see my hair is gray, my hairline is receding, and I have wrinkles and sags in places that didn't used to be the case. It's part of life. But it also means that I'm not entirely familiar with what's going on in certain aspects of the business world these days, most prominently, as we all know, relating to the rapid changes that are happening in technology and with social media. So there's no doubt that forming a relationship with a Rotaractor would be valuable to somebody like me, not only because I would have the opportunity to maybe support the Rotaractor in their own career development, but there's no question that they could support me as well. So we see this as a two-way street, which is really going to have powerful and exciting impacts on the careers of the individuals that are involved. And we are preparing to launch that program through the Rotary Works platform, and it should be available starting very soon. Another upcoming opportunity to get involved in the Rotary Works world and initiative is the Encore Program. Rotary Works began as a series of webinars, and discussing all sorts of aspects of career development and placement. And we have decided, rather than continuing regular webinars, that there would be periodic meetings. So the first large-scale, zone-wide periodic meeting is happening on April 22nd and 23rd. That's a Friday evening and Saturday morning. And it has an outstanding lineup of speakers who have agreed to share with us their perspectives about what's going on in the work world today and how best each of us has an opportunity to take advantage of that. And it's not my place to announce who the list of speakers are, but I can tell you that they are prominent senior members of the Rotary world and people from outside the Rotary world, and you're going to really want to be a part of that. So once the link for that is publicly announced, which should be happening within the next week or so, and the speaker lineup is publicly announced, I'll share that information with Giselle, and I'm certain she will agree to share that with all of you. And we look forward to you participating. Again, that'll be April 22nd and 23rd. I do want to spend a little bit more time, though, directing you back to the existing Rotary Works information, just to give you some sort of an idea what sort of resources are there, because in many ways, that's the most powerful and enduring part of what's been going on with Rotary Works. You know, it's one thing to offer opportunities for all of us to interact. And of course, with the magic of Zoom, I have the wonderful opportunity to interact with you from quite a distance. But preserving the information that we gather and making it available so that it can be utilized by people when they need it is really one of the most powerful aspects of the social media world that we're in today. And at Rotary Works, we're trying to make sure that everybody benefits from all the work that's been done and cataloging what's been done. So when you go to Rotary Works, you'll notice two things. First of all, as I mentioned, there are a number of career transition resources there. That may not sound like the world's most interesting link, but I would encourage you to explore it, because when you go there, what you'll find is more than 50 documents which have been collected about all aspects of the career development process, both in terms of assisting in hiring and assisting in seeking employment. And it's practical, very, very practical and directed information. And what's most exciting about this is that there are new documents being added there all the time. While I'm there, if you go there and you discover that there's information that's missing, I can tell you the Rotary Works team would love to have your insights about that, both in terms of what you would like to see, or if you have information that you would like to share with us, they'd be happy to take a look at that and mold it into the format that we utilize and make that available to everybody more broadly. What I think is really exciting, though, about what's on the resources platform is there are recordings of all of the webinars that were done during the period of time when Rotary Works was really focusing on webinar development. So there are many, again, very practical sessions which offer information about all aspects of your career development as you go through your life. Including things like navigating the workplace, something we all have to do, working on personal branding, a concept which was completely foreign when I began my own career, but which is commonplace today, because as I said, we are each responsible for our own advancement. There's a presentation on networking ahead. In other words, networking not just focus on today's needs, but also on making sure that when that next career opportunity is needed, you've done the work necessary to make sure that you've got the options when you have them. Insights regarding the evolving and emerging gig economy and how best to interact with that. How to avoid career roadblocks. Just as important as taking advantage of opportunities is also avoiding being in a position where you stymie your own development. and many other similar topics. So each of them is about a half hour to an hour long. They're offered by distinguished individuals because the whole nature of this process is that we have access to outstanding people who are the top of their respective fields. And I think you'll find each of these webinars to be very, very interesting and helpful to you at the right time in your career. So Rotary Works is a very exciting initiative. It's really focused on making the vocational service part of Rotary International real. It's an opportunity for you to get value out of your relationship with Rotary International and Rotaract. And I would encourage you to become a part of it, both as someone who utilizes the resources and as someone who helps us grow them. With that, I'm happy to accept any questions that there may be.
Thank you so much, PDG Pete. Actually, that was so exciting. I mean, it's a whole world out there, and we're navigating a world of career opportunities. We're navigating how to do that. And whether we're old or young, sometimes you need to know how to do it. So it's time for questions and answers. We are very familiar with the internet now, and we are all familiar with how to get to the Rotary.works site. But that aside, I'm going to open the floor together with DGN Debbie for questions that you may have for PDG Pete. So I'm over to everybody and onto your questions. Let me just open the chat box also. So the first question is from PP Giselle. Is it easy for a Rotaractor to be a part of the Rotary Work program? And if so, any prerequisites?
So there are no prerequisites. Rotary is open to everybody. Rotaract is open to everybody. And the most important part is that you have a heart for the work we do. And one of the things that I enjoyed the most about my involvement in Rotary is that I know that the people that I'm meeting share certain values and interests with me, particularly in terms of making the world a better place, but also in terms of dealing honestly and fairly and working for the common good. So we accept everybody as a participant. Now, I wouldn't want to pretend to you that it's easy. This is it's sort of an emerging idea, and there is a lot of it that is yet to be created. And so what I see is that we are at the beginning of a dialogue about what it is we think will be useful and what people actually find to be useful, and we'll want to make sure that we take advantage of the best ideas as they come along. And so there's always a certain amount of difficulty associated with creating something worthwhile. But from that perspective, it's certainly inclusive in that we invite everybody to be a part of it, and we are committed to listening to everyone and their ideas about how best to do this.
Thank you so much. And thank you from Giselle also. Any other questions? I do have a few actually, but I've decided to hold mine back because, I'm moderator. I can't ask questions before you all.
I'm at your mercy.
I was going to say we share a profession, but so too does DG and Debbie. We all from the same profession, leading to a propensity perhaps on my part to talk. But we do have a statement to yourself. You mentioned useful. What do you think would be some of the leading fields in years to come? That's an interesting question, given that the two moderators and the guest speaker are all from a very old profession, not the oldest, but we are from an old profession. So useful fields, well, maybe even if it isn't there, is it like that's something that the website would address in one of its discussions?
Well, there are aspects of what's available at the Rotary Works project that are attempting to project into the future. I think it's probably fair to say though that if I were good at projecting what was going to happen into the future, I probably wouldn't have ended up as an attorney. that's not really, that kind of creativity is not necessarily a big part of my work. So you would probably want to know, look to others, but I think there's no question that our world has become a lot more international, and technology has allowed us to do things very, very quickly and expeditiously that in the beginning of my career were, quite difficult, as a matter of fact. So, we're going back a long time, and people don't want to listen to the war stories, but I'll just say this. Creating a contract when I started was a multi-week process, if for no other reason that it would take that long to type it up. Today, I can do it in a couple hours, and we can be well down the trail of talking about the details much more quickly. So there's an expectation, of course, that we're going to be able to do that, and in fact people ask us to do it even faster. And so those who know how to make that all possible, I think, are going to continue to be very, very valuable, and be even more valuable as time goes on.
Yeah, so the technology is obviously going to lead the fields, but I think that the original fields will still be there also. We will all have to adapt. There is a statement in French with a question. Now, I'm going to read it in my very bad French, and then I will translate with my equally bad translation abilities. But here goes. Bonjour, toutes les ressources présentes sur le site sont en anglais. So good morning. All of the resources presented are on the site are in English. And I think what Stephanie is asking perhaps is there a translation, given that Rotary is in multiple languages all over the world, is there an ability to get it in other languages? Or is it something perhaps that can be thought about going forward? Over to you, PDG.
So yes, there is right now, I believe everything in Rotary Works is in English, but one of the projects which is underway is to translate it into other languages, so it will be available. Also, let me just say one other thing I should have said in response to the last question, which is that I think people interested in what the future looks like will find a lot of that kind of discussion coming from people who are much better positioned to do it at the Encore session on the April 22nd and 23rd.
Thank you for both responses. And Stephanie, does that help you a little bit? I can translate into French, but it would be very bad grammatic French if you didn't understand. Stephanie, tu comprends la réponse? Ah oui, très bien. So thank you so far. And we had a note of the powerful and enduring qualities and perspective qualities of the website. We had a note as to the preserving of information. Of course, we do have constructs of data and the different considerations for data. Is it that the website, in keeping information, this is my question, in keeping information, do they keep the question and answer side, or is it just the presenters? And how do they navigate the new world of data rules and data privacies, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, the questions and answers which are happening in the webinars are part of the webinars, so that's available.
Okay.
I'm not expert at the rules relating to data preservation, but we're not really holding anybody's private information. The mentoring program accepts requests to create mentoring relationships and then links people to others who agree to act as mentors. And we're not trying to catalog personal or private information related to all that.
That's excellent. So again, and I'm going to open the floor again before I continue, because as I said, I do have a propensity. So anyone else? So a general question I have is, I do have 2 young adult children, and both of whom are in Rotaract. in Canada though. Is it something that they can access from there? Because I do note that it is right now zone 33 to 34. So if you're out of the zone, can you access the website? Are you allowed to? How does it work?
Sure, the website is publicly available, so anybody from anywhere in the world can access it. And most of the information, if not all of the information on the website, is universal in its application. So anybody's going to have an opportunity or has the ability to get to that information if they would like it. This is a project of zones 33 and 34. As I said, it was started by our immediately past Rotary International Director. And so it is focused from a geographic point of view. It's focused on individuals within those two zones, but we are very hopeful that others might pick it up and spread it into other zones. So it's certainly, to the degree that anybody accesses it and finds the information helpful, they're more than welcome to it.
I love it, by the way. I love the idea. I love it, love it. I teach part-time, and so everything about this appeals to me. The Rotary side, the vocation side, the teaching side, the mentorship, you name it. Lawyers are exciting people, everybody. So, any other questions? En français ou en anglais? I can't speak Dutch.
That's all right. I can barely speak English.
So, okay, as I fill time, we're going to soon wrap up. How long has the Rotary Works website been available?
Well, the Rotary Works program began about 2 years ago. The website was one of the first things that was put together because it's the platform for much of what's gone on. So it's been in place for 18 months or so.
Okay, and I do have a comment from Giselle. I think this was great and look forward to sharing the info for the upcoming event. Sounds very exciting. Have there been past sessions like this?
This is the first session of this sort that I've done. And I'm really grateful for having the opportunity to share with everyone in your district, through the magic of this process. Certainly, there have been all sorts of sessions over time given by a number of different individuals in a number of different forums trying to spread the word about Rotary Works all through our zones. And there are people all through the zones who have become very active in the Rotary Works program.
Yeah, this is exciting times. I love it. So I think we've come to, subject to correction, almost to the end of our allotted time for this segment. I can bet you that everybody here is excited about this whole construct, this concept of Rotary Works. Isn't it amazing? So to those of you on the virtual chat, your feedback, your takeaway, your joining us, or hear me us, because I'll be there, April 22nd to 23rd for the virtual event. This is how to make virtual exciting. These are different ways to address virtual while helping all of us inclusive. Any wrap-up moments before I thank PDG Pete?
Well, that's all right. If I may, let me just say this. I really have enjoyed the opportunity to share some time with you and to share this information. I'm very excited anytime I have a chance to help somebody. And if there are other questions or if there's other information I can share, Giselle has my email and other information to reach me. And I would encourage her to share it with whomever can make use of it. I'm happy to hear from Rotarians and Rotaractors who are doing good things in the world.
Thank you so much, PDG Pete. And Julian has said useful information. Thank you for sharing. Earlier context by DG and Debbie. She's actually attended some, and your email is there. So we will ensure that it can be shared. I just want to quickly say thank you so much. this has been a mind-opening experience. And I'll draw from the speaker just now when he spoke about be innovative, be creative, be entrepreneurial, and build a team. Well, Rotary Works actually ticks every box there. And so it's a perfect fit for this Rotaract session for RYLA, for Rotarians. And I wish all of you all the best. Put in your diaries, April 22nd and 23rd. And PDG Pete, I'm sure you're going to hear from us again, so you can present again to different clubs and different fora. But thank you so much. Exciting, exciting, and great innovation. Well done. Have a great day, everybody. And we've come to the end of this session, and we'll be returning to our respective major room chat until the next breakout session. Cheers. A bientôt.